My male 26 sister, 23, runs a bakery business, and she's been struggling lately to keep up with orders because she's been short-staffed. She does a lot of orders for wedding cakes that require custard or marmalade fillings, and I offered to help her by making these fillings at home and bringing them to her, so she had less work to do. Unfortunately, the past 4 times I've made these fillings, my girlfriend, 24, has literally dipped her fingers into the filling jars and contaminated them because, in her words, she just wanted to try some. I've tried explaining that she can't dip her fingers in and contaminate the entire batch because then I have to remake it. I said she should use a spoon and take some out if she wants to try so badly, but she just pouts and says that she likes using her fingers because it takes her back to her childhood. Today, I was trying to finish some chocolate custard to send to my sister quickly because she was running late on a wedding cake order for an important client. I told my girlfriend beforehand not to eat the custard, and if she wanted to, please use a spoon. I get out of the shower, and what do I see? She has her fingers in it again. I totally lost it because this was the 5th time she blatantly disregarded what I said, and I yelled at her and told her to stop eating the damn food I was making because it wasn't for her and she was contaminating it. She started crying and got mad at me for fat-shaming her, even though I'd made no comment on her weight and she has no history of weight issues or eating disorders. I know I was harsh, but she kept pushing my limits. Am I the idiot? Does she also wear a diaper and draw on the walls with crayons because it reminds her of her childhood? Not the idiot. I'm sorry, she's exhausting and sounds like she's trying to sabotage you by helping your sister. LOL, right? What grown damn adult can't just grab a spoon and has to dip their fingers into food? Calling her out for contaminating food intended for commercial sale to other people because she wants to relive her childhood is appropriate. Hiding behind the fat-shaming nonsense seems like a way to escape accountability for her total lack of self-control. Oh God, I feel so guilty for laughing at this. Anyway, I second this as well. She sounds like she's purposefully trying to get in the way of you helping your sister at this point, so I would say she's probably jealous of your relationship with her. This is her way of making you stop the attention and help you give your sister. I would talk to her about this, but after pretending to blame you for fat-shaming her out of context, I would say she's too immature for an adult relationship and probably isn't worth pursuing if she's going to try to ruin your relationship with your sister long term. I know everyone's like break up over every little thing in here, but I break up over this. This is so deliberate. She's not even pretending she forgot, just insisting that because she wants to, it's fine. OP, at this point she is doing it on purpose, in front of you or right when you're ready to catch her. Yeah, she's purposefully ruining things for some reason. Break up with her. This person is sabotaging and wasting your time. I, 30 female, am friends with a couple, Mike and Sandra, 35 male and 38 female, and invited them and their child Charlie, female tween, over for dinner. Before they came over, I texted them to find out if they had any food sensitivities, allergies, needs, etc. The wife said there was nothing I need to worry about, so I decided on something a bit kid-friendly while still feeling like I was cooking for adults. So I settled on chicken parm with some chocolate cake for dessert. I figured it was like chicken nuggets mixed with pizza, which kids would like. It turned out really well for someone who's just started cooking like me. My friends told me it was good, and maybe they were just being polite, but they ate everything. Charlie poked at her meal the entire time we ate, and I'm not sure she ate any of it. After we were done, I brought out the chocolate cake. Charlie ate a tiny bite and immediately started bawling. Sandra asked her what was wrong, and she cried that she didn't like chocolate. Sandra continued to comfort her daughter, while Mike and I awkwardly ate dessert. A few minutes passed, and I noticed Sandra glaring at me. I hesitantly asked if I could help her with Charlie. I'm not good with kids, which she knows, but I wasn't sure what else to do. She huffed and asked, "Is there anything you'd like to say to Charlie?" It took me a second to realize that she wanted an apology for her kid not eating my food. I thought it might help cheer Charlie up at least, so I said I was sorry that she didn't like my food. Charlie started crying harder, and her mom asked me if I had anything she would like instead. I drew the line there. I told her I wasn't going to make anything else, and that if I didn't like what my mom made me as a kid, I went to bed hungry. Mike was just silently eating his cake while Sandra tried to convince me to make something else for Charlie to eat. I stood up from the table and asked Mike if he wanted me to wrap up his cake for him to take home, because the rest of his family was apparently not having a good time. Then I suggested that Sandra could go home and make something for Charlie to eat. Sandra scoffed at me and said something about how I was cooking tonight and she thought she could have taken the night off. I knew I was about to say something I really regretted, so I slammed my plate on the table and told her to get out. Mike seemed genuinely embarrassed as they left. I haven't spoken to any of them since, and now I think I overreacted by kicking them out of my house. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot, she was out of line. She should pack snacks or food for her if she has a picky kid. Crying over chocolate cake? Ridiculous, you did nothing wrong. Mom was wrong. Their kid is not your responsibility, and catering to her food issues isn't your job. Sandra's so out of line she doesn't see the line. If the child is known to be a picky eater, which we don't know but can only assume to be the case, then it's Sandra and Mike's priority to prepare for that, not the person that is hosting you, especially after OP asked. This is absurd and Sandra sounds entitled. Golly. Oh my word, I just caught that the child is a tween, and the parent is behaving like this. I could have understood a little one getting upset at whatever because, toddlers, but a tween? This is enmeshed, entrenched bad behaviour that stems from mother, inflicted upon that child, and now upon the world at large. What a distinctively weird way to be in this world. OP, I feel sorry for Mike, who sounds like he really needs a friend. Maybe call him. What kind of parenting are these people doing by appeasing that behaviour? Given Mike's reaction, this can't be an isolated issue. Try reaching out to him first and see what he has to say. You have every right to refuse and kick them out. Yelling and slamming dishes was an idiot thing, especially in front of a child that was the cause of the upset in the first place. I can only imagine how the kid felt after that happened. My 32 male fiancée, 28 female, is currently pregnant and has been both tired and nauseous lately. I understand why she didn't want to help me look for the dog, but I can't get over the lack of empathy and selfishness of this either. My dog, 6-year-old heeler corgi mix, runs off at least once a week. Usually my fiancée will help me find her, but it's not without protest. I didn't know how she was getting out of our fenced yard, so I installed cameras and found out that she was scaling the 8-foot fence. I ended up attaching spinners to the top of the fence, thinking this would solve the issue, but it didn't. I brought her out today and was playing with her when my phone rang. I was inside just long enough to grab my phone and my dog had gotten out. I immediately went in search of her, thinking she couldn't have gotten far, but I couldn't find her anyway. So I went back to the house and asked my fiancée, who was curled up on the sofa, to come to help me. She immediately said no. She said she was tired of chasing the dog, that she wasn't dealing with it anymore, and that I should have been out there watching her. I explained to her that I had been watching her and simply stepped away for 0.2 seconds to grab my phone just inside the sliding door and she'd escaped. She again said it wasn't her problem and she's not exhausting herself anymore to search for my dog. I won't even say it was unexpected because, as I said in the past, she's always had a problem with helping me search, but she's never said no. She just complained about it. At first, I went and searched for myself. After maybe half an hour, I came back and again asked her to come to help me, and she snapped, "I said no, I'm so tired of chasing that dog around multiple times a week when I'm already exhausted and throwing up constantly." I panicked and unleashed some yelling, which involved telling her that she was a witch who lacked empathy and that I was thoroughly disappointed with my decision to be with someone so heartless. It was out of pure fear and panic, and I apologized later after I found my dog, but she said, "Go screw yourself and won't talk to me." Am I the idiot? Everyone is on my side except my sister, who says I'm an idiot because it's not my pregnant fiancé's responsibility to chase around your stupid mutt, and said she would have left immediately if her boyfriend had ever said what I did to her. Dogs run off at least once a week. At that point, you are the idiot for not training him better. Rehome him, he deserves a better owner. She is right, that is not an emergency, that is a habit. Why haven't you put a harness on the dog and put a leash on it? They make leashes that spin around so the dog can go in multiple directions. This way you can not worry about your dog taking off. And yeah, training. What the heck, dude? Add to that, aren't healers working dogs who need lots of exercise? If all you do with a working dog is watch it while it wanders your backyard, you are not properly taking care of your dog. The repeated escapes show that your dog needed more exertion opportunities from you. Yeah, OP, you need to train your dog better to not run off instead of expecting your pregnant fiancé to bear the responsibility for your mistakes. But this... I told her she was a witch who lacked empathy and I was disappointed with my decision to be with someone so heartless. I'd leave you over this 100%. This abusive behaviour is not excused by the fact you were panicking. You clearly have no idea how to keep your dog from running away, but that is not your fiancé's problem, and if I were her, I'd be utterly sick of you too. You are the one who lacks empathy. She feels sick and you scold her for not helping find a dog you lost. Then you start verbally assaulting her when she doesn't follow your command. Check yourself. I agree with other commenters too. Unfortunately, you're also an irresponsible dog owner. Do better in that department or else the dog could one day get seriously hurt. If you can't do better, find someone who can and give her up. My ex, Josh, 18 male, and I, 18 female, have a toddler child together. He's a good parent and all, but we don't really mesh well. After a while, all we do was fight and we decided to break up. Before we started dating, there was this girl, Zoe. Apparently, Zoe and Josh never dated, but everyone insists that they would have had she not moved away. One of the first things Josh's friends said to him when we broke up was, "You should call Zoe up." I've heard plenty of how perfect they are for each other. She's super pretty too. I'll admit she was another reason we broke up. Even though she moved hours and hours away, she and Josh would still talk. Nothing ever happened, but you know. Well, she moved back into the area some weeks ago, and I haven't seen Josh this happy in a long time. Our daughter's birthday was soon, and we agreed on doing birthdays together, and Josh asked if Zoe could be there too since all our friends were coming anyways. I was going to say no, but I technically had no reason to. She's been super nice to our daughter and me, and it's not like Josh and I are together anymore. She came and everyone's attention was on her. Many of them hadn't seen her in years, and well, as I said, she's very pretty. My daughter obviously didn't care, but I felt that everyone was being a bit rude. Even Josh's dad was like, "Wait, you're the Zoe?" and talked to her for ages, saying how glad he was to finally meet her. Don't get me wrong, everyone was super sweet to my daughter, and my daughter liked Zoe, but she was the main topic the whole time. My mom noticed this too and kept trying to turn the attention to my daughter. When she gave up, I got really upset. Everyone went out to the backyard and Josh had our daughter. Zoe stayed behind for whatever reason. She started telling me how cute my daughter is. I wasn't in the mood though, so I just replied with, "Mm-hms." She noticed and was like, "Did I do something to offend you?" She looked at me like I was crazy and I was so over it. I told her that her whole presence offends me and that I'm tired of always hearing about her. I then asked her to please leave. I heard her call me a witch, but she just quickly whispered something to Josh and then left. So now everyone is mad at me because Zoe said she doesn't feel welcome. My parents are the only ones on my side, but I don't know how reliable that is considering. Please be honest. Am I the idiot here? You are the idiot. She did nothing to you. You were unforgivably rude to her for purely internal reasons. You're letting your jealousy show. Of course, people will be more interested in an adult they've heard a lot about versus a little kid's birthday. You're an 18-year-old with a toddler child. It's really hard. And then everyone at your child's birthday paid a lot of attention to a very pretty girl who might end up with your child's dad. And you were so jealous you couldn't stand it, and you were very rude and mean to her. The first thing you need to do is to own up to it and apologize to Zoe. You have to be absolutely sincere and mean it. Then you need to apologize to Josh. Finally, you're a mom. You need to start modeling the kind of behavior you want your daughter to grow up with, even if she doesn't get it at her age. Start now. Everyone's the idiot here. It would have been amazing if you'd had the grace to endure that party and express your feelings later. Your mom sucks for fueling your insecurities. Everyone else sucks for letting your daughter's birthday party turn into the Welcome Back Zoe event. This is your child's birthday party, a day to celebrate your child. This woman doesn't know your child. She's not even your friend. She did not belong at your child's party at all, and it was incredibly rude for her to come. Aside from the fact that Zoe should have had the tact and social clue not to go in the first place, the minute people started making this party about her, she should have shut that down. Party is about the baby, not about her. Taking over someone else's party is incredibly rude. That's why you don't wear white to someone else's wedding. Zoe knew what she was doing. You were only wrong for being rude. Keep your distance, don't play her game. Take care of your child and be polite when needed. I, 54 male, have a son, 18. His mother died during childbirth due to complications. I had a job that took up a lot of my time between investments and stocks, which didn't leave me with that much time to take care of my son. Because of that, I hired a nanny, Maria, who took care of him 24/7. Maria is an immigrant who came to work here in my country, but she has 2 children the same age as mine. I've always been a busy person, but I've tried my best to be present in my son's life so he doesn't miss a father. When my son turned 16, I stopped working and started living with the profit my account earned. A year later, I married my current wife, Livia. Livia has a 19-year-old daughter who's taking a gap year before attending university. This month, my son left home to go to college. As he's now a grown man, I decided to fire Maria, but I threw a surprise farewell party and announced to her that I would give her a certain amount of money. In total, it would be enough for her to pay for her children's college expenses. They were accepted to public colleges in her country and not have to work anymore. The problem started when my wife complained that I was paying college for a stranger's children but not her daughter's. My wife works, she has savings equal to mine and could very well pay for her daughter's college, but she expects me to pay as a gift because according to her, she will only see me as a good parent if I show her care. I said I wouldn't do that and that she could pay for her college expenses, and I corrected her when she called Maria a stranger because she stopped taking care of her children to take care of mine, so that would be the least I could do. My stepdaughter, wife and in-laws are calling me an idiot, but my close friends and family say I'm not an idiot. But I want to know what the internet thinks. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. It sounds like you're getting a good look at the woman you married. Did you like it? Nobody seems to explain why Livia isn't paying for her daughter's education. Also, where's the father in all this? If he's still in the picture somehow, then why doesn't Livia go after him for college money? Her kid is 19 and you had no part in raising them. You're getting hit with the old single mom scam. What I'm seeing is a total lack of empathy by Livia and everyone on her side of the family. Maria may be a hired help, but it sounds like she was as much a mother to your son as anyone could be. At that point, the line between employee and family member is blurred. And while she may be an employee, I'm sure you and your son think of her as a family member. I agree. Maria raised your son for you. She earned this sweet bonus. Putting the Maria issue aside, this screams gold digging. Everyone that says you're the idiot needs to mind their business, not your finances. I hope you have a prenup. If not, get a postnup. Make sure your will and trust etc. is rock solid, because this woman will leave your kid with nothing.